In this video, we're going to learn all about Jupiter in Aquarius and how it affects our lives. I'm here to share some fascinating information with you on the astrological transit of Jupiter in Aquarius that's happening as we speak. It's a really special time for those born between January 20th to February 18th. So let me break down for you what this means and why it matters. Jupiter is the planet of philosophy, expansion, growth, and abundance. Jupiter rules over our expansive potential. Jupiter in Aquarius is taking us into a brand new Jupiter-Uranus cycle. Jupiter in Aquarius expands our potentials to be unique, innovative, and totally different from the status quo around us. Make sure you stay until the end to get all the facts, because you may be surprised. Number 1, Jupiter in Aquarius is all about growth and progress. This time period is all about expanding your horizons and moving forward in your life. You may be feeling especially motivated to reach for new heights and achieve your goals. Jupiter in Aquarius is also about social justice and standing up for what you believe in. If you're looking for a bit of celebrity inspiration, look no further than to Jupiter in Aquarius born singer David Bowie, who brought us music that pushed boundaries the whole time Jupiter was passing through the zodiac sign. Personal growth is very important to Jupiter and Aquarius people. As you may find yourself exploring new methods of self-expression, this is exactly what they need to become more empowered. Jupiter and Aquarius folks are natural-born leaders, and they can certainly find themselves taking on larger roles at work or the community during this time. Number 2, Jupiter in Aquarius is all about the collective good. You may feel a strong sense of humanitarianism during this time, as Jupiter in Aquarius encourages us to think of the greater good. You may be more inclined to volunteer or help those in need. You may also feel a stronger connection to your community and be more interested in working together to create positive change. Jupiter in Aquarius is giving us all a chance to work toward social progress, so make the most of it. Being unselfish is a very positive trait Jupiter in Aquarius is helping us develop. Jupiter in Aquarius wants you to pay attention to what matters and not get too bogged down by the bad things. There are a lot of distractions, so it's important to focus on the good ones. Jupiter in Aquarius people is not afraid to speak up what they believe, so don't get in their way when they're on a mission. Jupiter in Aquarius is likely to have a strong eye for detail, especially when it comes to finding logical solutions. Number 3, Jupiter in Aquarius is a time of change and transformation. The energy of Jupiter in Aquarius can often be unpredictable, so be prepared for anything. This is a time when you want to tread lightly. It's best to stay out of other people's drama, as Jupiter in Aquarius encourages us to go within ourselves for answers. Jupiter in Aquarius is also a time of spiritual transformation. Jupiter in this sign has the power to bring out both our best and worst qualities, so be mindful of your emotions during this cycle. Jupiter is currently in Aquarius and has been there since November 21st and will transition out on April 13th, 2022. Change is very important to Jupiter in Aquarius people, and you may find yourself going through a lot of personal growth in the next few months. This is a great time to experiment and try new things. Number 4, Jupiter in Aquarius brings lightness and creativity to your life. This energy is all about free thinking and living outside the box. Jupiter in Aquarius inspires us to explore our imaginations and enjoy ourselves more. This transit can be especially great for children who are naturally drawn towards adventure and learning through fun experiences. Jupiter in Aquarius also brings a refreshing new perspective to your life, so be open to change and new ideas. Jupiter in Aquarius is all about being our authentic selves, so this would be the perfect time to try something new. Creativity is definitely key during Jupiter in Aquarius and plays an important part of Jupiter in Aquarius. Jupiter in Aquarius is very much a Jupiter in Leo type of energy, as Jupiter rules Leo and Aquarius rules the opposite sign of Leo. Number 5, Jupiter in Aquarius is a time of travel and exploration. Jupiter rules both fortune and luck, so this transit may bring some exciting opportunities your way. Traveling during Jupiter in Aquarius makes sense, as you will probably pick up on new ideas along the way. It's a good idea to travel with friends you can trust. Jupiter in Aquarius is also a time when you may be feeling rebellious and wanting to break free from the norm. If you've been feeling stuck, Jupiter in Aquarius could be the push you need to start exploring new possibilities. Jupiter in Aquarius encourages us to seek answers within ourselves, so take some time to dive deep. Traveling is fun and all, but it's also a great way to learn about different cultures and see how others live. That's also why exploration is important to Jupiter in Aquarius. Jupiter in Aquarius is about breaking out of the mold and expanding your horizons. Number 6, Jupiter in Aquarius is all about learning and knowledge. Jupiter in Aquarius encourages us to learn new things, expand our minds, and share with others what we know. Jupiter in Aquarius is especially beneficial for students and anyone studying an instrument or attending art class. They may be extra motivated to practice during this time. Jupiter in Aquarius also brings increased interest to subjects like astronomy, religion, and philosophy. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, so Jupiter in Aquarius may inspire us to learn about foreign cultures and travel too. Jupiter in Aquarius is also great for learning how to work with others, including learning to develop your creative skills. Jupiter in Aquarius encourages us to break free from the mundane and try something new. Figure out something new that you may like to know, and Jupiter in Aquarius will have your back. Number 7, Jupiter in Aquarius brings luck and positive energy your way. This transit can signify a period of good fortune coming your way. Make sure you notice it when it arrives. Jupiter in Aquarius is all around us, so try not to be surprised when positivity finds you during this time. Jupiter in Aquarius is also a time when you want to be extra careful with your words, as they could have a larger than usual impact. Jupiter in Aquarius encourages us to think before we speak, so be mindful of the messages you're sharing with others. Jupiter in Aquarius also brings increased interest in science and anything that requires rational thought. Positive energy is important to Jupiter in Aquarius people, and you'll definitely want to keep your mind open to all the good things coming your way. Number 8, Jupiter speaks the language of symbols. This Jupiter transit can be a symbol for growth and expansion in your life. Do you see Jupiter as an image of what's happening to you? Jupiter is expansive, like the gas giant planet itself. Jupiter in Aquarius is about creating new pathways forward and taking constructive action to help yourself and others grow. Jupiter in Aquarius is also the ruler of traveling, so Jupiter in Aquarius can indicate that you may need to be flexible with your plans. Jupiter encourages us to improvise, and Jupiter in Aquarius asks us to consider how we can make changes without disrupting our routine too much. Jupiter in Aquarius could be a welcome change of pace if you're tired of the status quo. Jupiter in Aquarius also encourages us to break away. Number 9, Jupiter in Aquarius is all about having fun and embracing change. Be open to enjoying yourself during this time, because Jupiter in Aquarius encourages us to spend our positive energies on things that make us happy. This Jupiter transit marks a time when we may become more spontaneous and engage with the world around us on a new level. We may find ourselves drawn towards people who share similar interests, so try not to be surprised if your social circle suddenly looks a little different. Jupiter in Aquarius is a time when we can really let go and have some fun. Jupiter is the ruler of fun and adventure, so Jupiter in Aquarius may be a time when we consider trying something new. Jupiter in Aquarius also brings luck, and Jupiter encourages us to reach out to those who deserve it. Jupiter also rules higher education, so Jupiter in Aquarius can occur around graduation or during stressful exam times. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss more videos on astrology and much more. Check out this video, Zodiac Signs That Don't Get Along at All, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.